I relapsed in 2024 after I had my second child, which is my daughter. And if you're new here, my name's Amanda. I am a recovering alcoholic. I used to drink vodka and take kratom all day, every day for about 3 years straight. Long story short, I was in my active alcoholism when I got into a car accident, completely wrecked my car. I was sober. I was not driving drunk this time. I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter and I had fractured my pelvis in 3 different places. That was kind of like my first initial rock bottom. That is why I got sober in the first place. I didn't choose that. I didn't want to stop drinking. I wasn't done. My itch had not been scratched. I stopped because I was pregnant with my daughter. Had I not been pregnant with my daughter, not having a car and being injured would not have stopped me. I relapsed because once I got my car back and I wasn't pregnant anymore, all of those feelings that I had, because I wanted to relapse. Okay, let's get that straight. I relapsed because I wanted to. I wasn't done with alcohol. I just wanted to get away with it. I thought that I could just use it to make myself feel better because I was going through some postpartum stuff. I was in a really bad place in my relationship. I was in a bad place in my living situation. I was in a bad place with my family. I was depressed. I was in a bad place at work. Every excuse that I could have, I had, and I drove that. I relapsed in 2024, which was about a year and some after I got sober in 2023. I relapsed on mouthwash. I didn't start by going to the liquor store again. I started because I was taking a sip of my mouthwash, like I always did after I brushed my teeth, and that crazy thought went into my head, what happens if you swallow it? So I swallowed it. And of course, that familiar intoxication with just that little amount of alcohol just brought me back. All of those feelings came back and I just wanted it all over again. So I started drinking mouthwash and then I started buying it, and my entire relapse lasted for about 2 weeks. My fiance FaceTimed me because he was out of town and he could see by the look on my face that I was drunk, and he called me to perform a breathalyzer that I had purchased to prove myself. I couldn't even figure out how to work the breathalyzer, so I ended up just telling him that I was drunk, because up until that point I had been lying my ass off to him, telling him to his face that I had not been drinking and that I wasn't drunk. I swore on our daughter that I had not been drinking. That. I did that. That was my relapse. I would say that my relapse was one of the darkest times of my life. And I'm going through a very similar circumstance. I'm not relapsing, and I haven't relapsed. I'm completely sober, but I am pregnant. I am depressed. I am going through an extremely difficult time with everything that I listed before. All of those things are happening again in different ways, in new ways, in terrible ways. But this time, I know that I can make it through this without alcohol. Sometimes your rock bottom doesn't have to be a car accident. It doesn't have to be you hurting someone else. Please don't. Sometimes it is just the realization that you could lose everything that you do hold dear just to stay with the alcohol, just to stay with the addiction. And that was what my relapse really taught me, is that if I want these things, my family, my children, my relationship, alcohol cannot come with me.